Hi everyone, welcome back to the Flow Builder series of practice sessions. So in this particular video, we are going to see how we can clone multiple records. If you guys remember in the last session, we saw how we can clone a single record. All right, so let's just go ahead and create a flow for cloning multiple records. So I would be creating a flow using which I would be cloning all the account records that are available in my org. All right, so let me go ahead and get started. So let's just go ahead and create a flow, screen flow. And let's switch it to freeform. All right. So if you remember from the previous video, right, the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to prompt the user asking if they are okay cloning all the records or not. All right. So I'm going to create a screen here. Let's give it a name. And here I would be using display text. And here, anything as in are you ready to clone? Sorry. Clone all accounts, question mark. And right. So this is the first screen, okay? Now, if you remember in the last video, we had created a resource variable to get the current record ID of the account, right? The one that we wanted to clone. But in this scenario, we want to clone all the account records, right? So we are going to fetch all the account records that are available in my org, all right? And then we'll go ahead and try to clone them all, okay? So first of all, let's just fetch all the accounts that are available. So get all accounts, okay? And object is account. And here I'll be choosing get all account records, okay? And all records here, and that's it. So here I would get all the account records. Now let's just go ahead and add a loop element over here so that we can loop through all the accounts that we have fetched, all right? So loop and iterate over account records. Collection variable is this one. This is where we have fetched all the accounts, right? So this first item to last item, click on done. Okay. And here. All right. So now there's another point that you have to keep in mind is I cannot directly use create records. I have all the accounts, right? And I'm iterating through all the accounts, but I cannot directly use create records here. I should not be using it. If I use create records element over here, that means I am using a DML operation, insert operation inside a loop, right? So rather I'm going to create a collection variable and I am going to keep all the account instances inside that collection variable. And once the loop iteration is over, I'm going to insert that collection variable. All right. So for that, we would have to create another variable, but okay. So two things. Okay. So the first variable that I just talked about is the collection variable where we would be adding all the instances of the accounts. Okay. Now let's just understand this with more in detail, with an example. So let's say I have 10 accounts in my system. Okay. So here are my 10 accounts that I have in my system. And here is the collection variable that I have created. Okay. So as the loop is iterating over all the 10 accounts, I want to add each and every account record to this collection variable. Okay. So if the loop is iterating through first account record, then I want to fetch that account record and keep into this collection variable. Then second one, I want to keep the second. I want to keep on adding each and every account record to this collection variable. Okay. Now here the problem is when the loop is iterating through all the 10 account records, you have to create another variable in order to keep each and every account record inside that variable, so that you can add that variable to the collection variable. If you directly, if you directly would try to add all the try to add the account record inside the collection variable, then it will keep on overriding. Let's say the loop is iterating over through first account, right? Let's say it's account 1. Now you have added your account 1 to your collection variable. Okay, now loop is iterating over to account 2. Okay, and you are now adding your account 2 to this collection variable, but the instance that you have for the account, that will actually get overridden, right? So you initially you had account 1, now you have inside the same loop, you are trying to add the same account instance inside the collection variable. Not exactly the same account instance, but account 2, right? So account 1 will get overridden. So what you have to do is you have to create another variable that can, with every loop, that can maintain its own instance, and you can keep on adding that instance to the collection variable. Okay, it's like a bucket that you're creating, right? So there is a loop and you have one bucket that you have created. So when the loop is iterating through first account record, you're keeping that account record to this bucket, and then you're adding this to the collection variable. Then second, adding to the collection variable. So that way you will keep on adding each and every account record to the collection variable. Okay, I'm not sure how much you have understood, but I'm sure that when we are actually implementing this, you will actually get the idea that why we are going to do this. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to create another variable. Okay, so do not freak out. This is like a local variable that I'm creating that will keep the account instance. Okay, current account instance. So new resource, and then variable. Let's just keep it as account details. This is for each and every account. Okay, account details. Data type would be record, and object is account. So here, if you observe, I'm not clicking on this allow multiple values, right? Because I am only creating this variable to use it inside the loop for each and every single account record. Okay, first account record, I would be storing it to this. When it comes to when the second loop starts, right, second iteration starts, I would be keeping the details of the second account record into this. Okay, so that is why I'm not clicking on this. So click on done. So I have this account details. Now let's just go ahead and create an assignment. Because now I have created the variable, but I want to assign values to that variable, right? That from where it is supposed to pick the values. So assign account values. Okay, and here, all right. So the variable that we have created is what? Account details, right? So in account details, we are going to stamp the values from the loop. Okay, so loop is actually iterating over the list that you have fetched from the org. Now the list of account that you have from the org, that list information I am basically stamping it to another variable. Okay, which I would be at the end, which I would be not at the end, with every iteration I would be adding it to the collection variable. Okay, so here I'm going to account details dot name. So here I want to, on account details variables name, I want to stamp the value from the get records, the one that you have queried. Okay, so this one from the loop name. All right, and let's say I also want to copy phone number. So account details dot phone loop element and phone. Also, let's just take another one, annual revenue, and then loop item, annual revenue. Okay, and that's it. I'm only copying, cloning 3 fields. All right. So this is a variable that I've created, and this variable, if you remember the variable, when I was creating the variable, the data type of the variable was record. And what kind of record? Account record, right? So I would be getting these fields automatically, right? Account name, account phone, and account revenue, right? Annual revenue, because these are the fields that are available on account. And that is why when I was creating this variable, I kept this variable as record data type, so that, and the object as account, so that I would be able to copy the values from the loop element to these values, all right, to these fields. Okay, so this assignment is done, and let's just connect this and through each item. Yes. Now, as discussed, right? So for example, the loop is running, okay? And loop has picked up the first account. And from the first account, you have copied all these, values, account name, account phone number, annual revenue to this variables account name, account phone, and annual revenue, right? Now, what I want to do is I want to add this to a collection variable, okay? It's like a list. I'm adding this to a collection variable. So what will happen? Let's say I create another assignment and I'll be adding this one to that collection variable. And then after that, what will happen? The loop will iterate again, right? Because there are 10 accounts. As per the example that I'm talking to, there are 10 accounts. Now, when it will pick up the second account, it will do the same thing for the second account. It is going to map the name, phone, and annual revenue for the second account to this variables account name, phone, and annual revenue. Okay, and once this mapping is done, this will again go and add this instance to the collection variable, and the same thing will happen for all the 10 accounts. Okay, the assignment will happen, and also it is going to assign this instance to the collection variable. Okay, until and unless your loop is running. All right, so here now let's just go ahead and create the collection variable. So new resource and variable here, account collection variable. Data type would be record, and this time we have to click on allow multiple values. Okay, object is account. Okay, and done. So I have this, where is the variable? Here it is, right? Account collection variable. Now I have to assign account details, because with every iteration, I have to add the account details to this collection variable, account collection variable. Okay, so I have to create another assignment over here. So here it is, and assign account details to collection variable. If you know what, if you try to relate everything we are doing here with the code that you write, correct? I mean, what do you actually do? I mean, if you have to write an Apex trigger for such a scenario, what will you do? Let's say if you have queried all the accounts, you will be keeping that, you will be writing a SQL query, and then whatever the account records that you will receive, you're going to store it in list of accounts, right? And once you have that list of accounts, you will be iterating over that list of accounts. Okay, and once you iterate over that list of account, how do you actually write the code? For example, just try to imagine. Okay, so let's say I'm writing something like list account, and list of accounts is equals to, and then the SQL query, right? Now I have this list of accounts. Now I want to iterate over this list of account. So I would be writing for, then account space, and then some instance, let's say ACC, then colon, and then that list of accounts that you have actually fetched, right? Now inside this loop, you never directly insert anything, right? If I want to do any kind of operation, I'm not going to write inside that for loop, right? I would rather create another list, and with every instance, with every loop iteration, I'll keep on adding that particular, whatever changes I want to make to all those accounts, I'll make those changes inside the loop, assignment, and I will keep on adding that to the collection variable. And that is exactly the same thing that we are doing here. Okay, so anyway, so assign account details to collection variable. So what is the collection variable that we have? So collection variable is this, and here we need to use add, and then account details. All right, so I'm adding account details to collection variable. So first loop will first iteration of the loop, let's say account 1. Okay, and account 1, let's say the assignment is done, account name, phone, annual revenue has been assigned to account details. So I have that current instance of that account 1 inside this, and I'm adding that to the collection variable. And with the second iteration, it will have the details of the second account, and I will add that as well to the collection variable. So that way, collection variable will actually maintain all the account records instances that you just keep on adding here. Okay, so I'll click on done, and this is okay. All right, so let me just Okay. So this is done. Until when this should happen? Till the loop finishes, right? Till it terminates. Like, that like if there are 10 accounts, then everything like, until and unless all the iteration has been happened, I want these two steps to be performed, right? And once this is done, I would be, all right. So let's just, sorry, let me just keep it here. Okay. So once every iteration of the loop has been done, that is when I want to go ahead and clone the records. I mean, which is nothing but creating the records, right? So now I can use the create record element over here. Okay. So create cloned records. Okay. And then multiple records, right? Because we are creating multiple records, right? We are cloning all the accounts, right? So here it is asking me record collection, right? Which is the record collection that you have, which you want to clone or create. So here I have account collection variable, right? This is the one where I am keeping all the account instances, like, with change or whatever, like, mapping we have done, and then click on done. All right. So, hold on. Should rather be from here to here, right? 1 second. Okay. After last item, right? So once the loop iteration has finished, it is going to create the records. Now let's go ahead and add like a success message or a screen. So let's give it a name. Here, let me add a display text. Okay. And done. All right, let's just this. Yeah. So okay, let's just go through it again, and then we can run this flow and check if it's like, working or not. So we have created a screen to prompt the user asking whether they are okay cloning all the accounts or not. And then we are fetching all the accounts that we have in the system, right? Get all account records. Once we have all the account records, we are running a loop through all the account records, right? From first to last. And then we are assigning each and every account records name, phone number, and revenue, annual revenue, to another variable details account, which we have, like, for which we have created another variable called account details. And every time the loop is iterating on this, we keep on adding account details to another collection variable, right here. So this is the collection variable where we are adding all the instances of the accounts. And then once the loop iteration is done, we are creating those account records using this collection variable that we had created and added all the instances of the accounts. Once that is done, we have created a success message. Okay. So let me just save it. And click on save. All right, let me activate this. Okay. So let me go ahead and see how many accounts do I have. I don't want to blindly do it. So I have 19 accounts. So let me go ahead and delete few so that it will be easy for you to. So I'm going to delete few account. Delete. I'm going to delete at least 14 accounts that I have in the system. So I should be left with 5. Okay. All right, I have some. Okay, it's okay. Let's just go ahead and see, right? There are 19 accounts, right? So once I run the flow, there should be like, for each and every account, there should be a clone which should get created. Okay. So let's just go ahead and run this flow. So here. So it should give me the prompt message that we had kept, right? Whether are you ready to clone all accounts? Yes. So next. And the cloning process completed. Okay. So let's just go ahead and refresh this. So 38 items, right? We had 19 and now it's 38. So if you want to sort this, you can sort. So because we had like, multiple accounts with the same name. So it's not that easy to identify, but you can check these ones, right? For every account, there's a clone that got created. Okay. See. So it has basically cloned all the accounts, all right, that I had in the system. So now this is how you can actually clone multiple records. All you have to do is you have to fetch all the records that you actually want to clone, right, using the get records element, and then you have to loop through all the records that you have, create a local variable to keep the record instance, and then create another variable which will be nothing but your collection variable, where you would be adding all your local instances of the record. And once your loop iteration is over, you are going to use the create record element in order to perform the DML operation in order to create the records, or the clone, whatever you are saying it. All right. So I think this is it about cloning multiple records. And also, if you want to if you saw that I directly I run the flow directly from here. I did not keep this button anywhere else, but as per your requirement, if you have a component, or let's say if you want to create a button and keep that flow on the click of that button, because it's a screen flow, right? So you can create an action button and call that particular flow from that action button. I did not use it on any of the record pages because I didn't want that button on the record pages, because it was cloning all the accounts, right? But then if you as per your requirement, you can keep it wherever it is required to be, right? Could be on home page, or could it be on any other custom pages. All right. So I'll see you in the next session. Till then, keep practicing. Bye bye.